Hi family, I'm Jordan Thorpe and this is Jordan's Journey channel where we are moving forward in life and in faith. If you're new here, welcome. If you're already subscribed to the family, welcome back. Thank you so much for tuning in. And today, family, I wanted to talk to you in regards to something is being completed in this hour. Okay, something is being completed in this hour. Now is not the time to give up. Now is not the time to quit. Now is not the time to throw in the towel. Okay, many times when we are very close to a breakthrough, very close to what's next, very close to what God has for us, the opposition will get greater. It will get worse before it gets better. You're just facing a little bit of opposition. See, the enemy knows. He knows what's about to happen. He knows the assignments of what's about to take place. He knows that his kingdom, that he's losing territory with the assignment that God has birthed in you. He's losing territory with the assignment that God has you on. So he's going to do everything in his power to get you to stop. He's going to do everything in his power to get you to disbelieve and not do what God has called you to do. So he's going to use people. He's going to use the people closest to you, because many of you are at the point where you have increased in your discernment. You have increased in the things of God. So things don't affect you how they used to affect you. So you don't go into certain places, into certain environments, into certain people. You learned how to protect your peace. You learned how to protect the anointing. You learned how to protect the purpose and the promise. So there's a shield of protection. So many people can't get through to you because you have cut off access. So he's going to use the few people who are closest to you to attack, because that's all he can do. He's going to use the closest people to you. And God said, this is not the time to give up. There's something that is being completed. There's something that is being completed in this moment, in this hour, in this season. Okay. And so I want to read from the book of Nehemiah. Nehemiah was a faithful servant of God, and he had the assignment to build a wall. Okay, God put him on an assignment to build a wall. And as soon as Nehemiah started building, he started to face opposition. Okay, and so if we go to Nehemiah 6, starting at verse 2, it reads, so Sanballat and Geshem sent a message asking me to meet them at one of the villages in the plain of Ono. But I realized they were plotting to harm me. So I replied by sending this message to them. I am engaged in a great work, so I can't come. Why should I stop working to come and meet with you? 4 times they sent the same message, and each time I gave the same reply. Nehemiah is building, and he gets a message and realizes that there's people plotting against him. Okay, and so he tells them, I am engaged in great work, so I can't come. Many of you are in the hour where you're going to be getting pulled in many different directions. The enemy is going to distract you with the things of this world. Birthday parties, events, things to just keep you busy, but it's really pulling you away from the work that God has called you to build. Okay, and so you have to be careful, because the enemy will guilt trip you and make you feel like, oh, well, you're not going to your cousin, sister's, brother's, mother's birthday party. No, because you are engaged in great work. Okay, so those are the tactics that the enemy will use at this point, because the other things are not working. So he's going to try to get personal. He's going to try to guilt trip you. He's going to try to use the purpose, the closest people to you, to plot against you. See, when you start building In doing the work that God has called you to do, you become a threat to the enemy. You become a target to the enemy. Because you're a threat to his kingdom. What you're building is a threat to his kingdom. So he's going to use people. You're going to find that people are going to be plotting against you. The enemy is plotting against you, and he's going to be using, you're going to be seeing it manifest through the people that's around you. He's going to be using the people that's closest to you. And you're going to be finding that people are plotting against you. And so God is saying, don't fall for it. Now is not the time to be distracted. Now is not the time to be going to everyone's events and everyone's environments, but to stay the course. Nehemiah said, I'm engaged in great work. God has you engaged in great work in this season. This is not the time to be distracted. And so if we continue reading, it says, why should I stop working to come meet with you? Okay, this is Nehemiah talking. 4 times they sent the same message. Each time I gave the same reply. The 5th time, Naboth's servant came with an open letter in his hand, and this is what it said. There is a rumor among the surrounding nations, and Geshem tells me it is true that you and the Jews are planning to rebel, and that is why you are building the wall. According to his reports, you plan to be their king. He also reports that you have appointed prophets in Jerusalem to proclaim about you. Look, there is a king in Judah. You can be very sure that this report will get back to the king, so I suggest that you come and talk it over with me. So they invite Nehemiah to this meeting. Nehemiah says, no, I'm not going to stop the great work that God is calling me to do to come and meet with you. And so now they start making up rumors, okay? And so Nehemiah replies and says, there is no truth in any part of your story. You are making up this whole thing, okay? When the hate doesn't work, people will start spreading lies about you. People don't like you to become everything that God is calling you to do. People don't like you to be focused. People don't like you when you're right mind. They like you better when you're insecure. They like you better when they can control you and manipulate you. People don't like you when you're right mind, excelling, growing, and evolving. It intimidates them. And so you see here that these people were intimidated by Nehemiah. Oh, you can't come meet with us? So they start making up rumors about him to get him to come and meet. But Nehemiah has discernment and says, this is a lie. There is no truth to any part of your story. You are making up the whole thing. People will talk about you when you're building. People will talk about you when you say no. People will talk about you when you separate yourself. Because you're on a mission. You're on an assignment. And Nehemiah says, if we continue reading, verse 9, they were just trying to intimidate us, imagining that they could discourage us and stop the work. So I continued the work with even greater determination. God is saying now is not the time to give up. This is the time to continue the work with even greater determination. Greater determination than what you already had. God said a second wind is coming. He's giving you a second wind that's going to allow you the energy that you need to keep going. Because if we can be honest, some of the words, some of the plots, some of the attacks of the enemy has gotten to you. And it's making you second guess yourself. It's making you second guess all the work that you have put in thus far. And God said, this is not the time to give up. These are attacks of the enemy. This is the time to even go harder than the hardest you've ever been. Many of you need to go on a 30-day challenge and challenge yourself to go as hard as you ever did for 30 days straight. Nehemiah says, so I continued the work with even greater determination. So it was even more determination than what he started with. It didn't make him stop. He didn't get intimidated. People were harassing him, attacking him, plotting against him. But he used that and made him go even harder. God is saying this is the time to go even harder than what you have ever done before. If we continue verse 10, it says, later I went to visit Shemaiah, son of Delilah, and grandson of Mehetabel, who was confined to his home. He said, let us meet together inside the temple of God and bolt the doors shut. Your enemies are coming to kill you tonight. But I replied, should someone in my position run from danger? Should someone in my position enter the temple to save his life? No, I won't do it. I realized that God had not spoken to him, but that he had uttered this prophecy against me because Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him. They were hoping to intimidate me and make me sin. Then they would be able to accuse and discredit me. Nehemiah is told that his enemies are coming to kill him. And he replied, should someone in my position run from danger? Should someone in my position enter the temple to save his life? God said, stop running. Many of you have been running from your problems. You have been running from your circumstances, and you just been running. And God said there is no need to run. As he said, it's time to confront that giant. It's time to confront that thing face to face. He said, because you are victorious. You're not the same person who you were when you first entered this fight, when you first entered this battle. And so it's time to use what you know and fight back. You're wiser, you're stronger. God said no more running. The enemy is trying to trap you. He knows that you no longer fall for the same tricks. Okay? You have broken certain patterns that you have noticed over your life. It reads, I realized that God had not spoken to him, but that he had uttered this prophecy against me because Tobiah and Sanballat had hired him. But people are going to try to speak negativity over you because they're actually intimidated by you and what you're doing and who you are and who you have become. They can no longer harass you. They can no longer try to embarrass you. They can no longer try to control you and manipulate you. But you have overcome that control. You have grown in the spirit. You have grown in discernment. You have taken your rightful position and identity and understanding who you are, understanding what God has called you to do. And so people will try to speak against that. But you have to have enough discernment to understand when God is speaking to you and when the enemy is speaking to you. You have to have enough discernment to discern the voice of God in others and discern what's not the voice of God in others. When it's the enemy speaking through people, trying to get to you, trying to intimidate you. And so Nehemiah understood that he purposely hired someone to speak and prophesy against what Nehemiah was doing. And Nehemiah knew that they were trying to intimidate him and to make him sin so that they can accuse and discredit me. So there's going to be a trap where the enemy is going to try to discredit you. Discredit all the building, discredit all the, you know, the work that you put in. You know the blood, sweat, and tears that you put into what God has told you to do. And so the enemy is going to come. He's going to use people to try to discredit everything that you've done. Oh, it's not nothing. Oh, anyone could do that. Oh, you're still not making any money. Oh, you still look like this, or you still drive this, or you still live here. Like, what are you doing? They're going to try to discredit you. And you have to understand the attack of the enemy. And that's going to trigger you because you know all the work that you've done and that you put in. because they want to get you, they want to trick you out your spot. Don't allow the enemy to trick you out your spot, because you were right where you're supposed to be. You were right where God has you. And so don't allow the enemy to come in and trick you out of your spot where he has specifically planted you to build. And what you're building is great, a great work from God. They want to see you fall. They want to see you come out of character. They want to see you cuss somebody out. They want to see you break down, have a mental breakdown, so they can accuse you and discredit everything that you've done and say, look, well, there's something wrong with her. There's something wrong with him. I'm telling you, that's the enemy. That's the enemy. If we continue reading verse 14, it says, remember, oh my God, all the evil things that Tobiah and Sanballat have done. And remember Noadiah, the prophet. And remember Noadiah, the prophet, and all the prophets like her who have tried to intimidate me. What you're going to start to see as people who have come against you, you're going to start to see, God is going to allow you to see his hand work against them. Because this is going to be him remembering what they have done, remembering the evil that they put out against you, remembering the words, the evil words that they put out against you, remembering the slander of your name. God has not forgotten. He is going to remember, and you're going to start to see things come against them until they surrender, if they surrender. But God is doing it so they can surrender, because many of them, the people who are coming against you, they're not in God. They're in the world. They may think that they're in God. They may think because they go to church or whatever the case may be, but they're not. And so he's going to be coming against them until they surrender. If we continue, it says the builders complete the wall. So as I mentioned, something is being complete, okay, in this season. And it reads, so on October 25th, the wall was finished, just 52 days after we had begun. When our enemies in the surrounding nations heard about it, they were frightened and humiliated. They realized this work had been done with the help of our God. So it says on October 25th, the wall was finished. When this video comes out, it'll be October 25th. Y'all, I kid you not, I did not plan to release this video on the day. I just got this revelation right before I started recording, October 25th, okay? And so something is being completed. Something is being completed in this season, and that's why you cannot give up. That's why you cannot throw in the towel. That's why you cannot allow the enemy to intimidate you and you fall for his tricks, and he tricks you up out of the spot, out of the positioning in the building that God has you doing. It says, when our enemies and the surrounding nations heard about it, they were frightened and humiliated. So your enemies, they're going to see this completion. Whatever God is completing in your life in this season is going to be known. People will see it and people will hear about it. People will see it and people will hear about it. This completion that God is doing. And they were frightened and humiliated. People are going to realize that everything that they have been saying about you, all the false narratives and the rumors that they have been spreading were false. And they're going to they're going to feel humiliated, because people will know that everything that they were saying was false. They realized this work had been done with the help of our God. They don't know by now who you are, who's helping you, what God you serve. Well, if they don't know by now, they're going to find out soon. Soon. they will hear about this completion. This completion is going to be known. People will see it. People are going to hear about it. There's going to be an elevation. Okay? And so God is saying now is not the time to stop. Now is not the time to get intimidated by the attacks of the enemy. Things are being completed. Okay, and so that's all I have for now. I created a 7-day devotional guide on spending your morning with God with scriptures, applications. I know you'll be blessed and encouraged by it. It's free. The link is in the description box below. If this word resonated with you and you would like to sow a seed into this word, the link is in the description box below. Also, these words are now on Jordan's Journey podcast, so you can listen to the audio version of these words wherever you find and listen to podcasts. You can always visit us on the web at jordansjourneycoaching.com. God loves you so much, and so do I. Bye.